Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Team ACM PCCOE, I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests, all our respected faculty members, and all the students joining us today. It is a pleasure to have you all with us today at the ICPC Guidance Session organized by ACM Student Chapter of Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering. The purpose of today's session is to help students understand the world of competitive programming, learn about International Collegiate Programming Contest (ICPC), organized by ICPC, and gain practical insights into preparing for one of the most prestigious programming competitions in the world. We are truly delighted to welcome our guest speaker for the evening, Mr. Sumit Kumar, to guide us. Mr. Sumit Kumar has an impressive
Okay.
competitive programming
Yeah,
journey,
yeah.
having qualified for the ICPC Kanpur Regional 2025 and ICPC Amritapuri Regional 2026 while representing NIT Patna. Through consistent dedication and hard work, he has gained valuable experience in competitive programming and ICPC preparation. Without wasting much time, I would like to invite Mr. Sumit Kumar sir.
Okay, so thank you. What is your name?
Hello.
Hello. I said, what is your name?
My name is Yash.
Okay, yes. Okay. So thank you for the welcome, and very good evening, everyone. Mm, I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great.
So,
45 people. Yeah, quite a lot of people, I guess. Yes,
uh,
we can start.
so we are hoping a few more to join. Maybe they'll join and we could
No,
just
it's
start.
fine.
Okay, so
No.
uh, the before we start, let me mention that uh, we have two types of crowd in this meeting. First one is the first year moving to second year, and the other would be second year moving to third year.
Okay.
So, for the students who have just passed from their first year, so would
Mm-hmm.
you like explain them what is ICPC? So we will begin with there.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so can we ask everyone to turn on their cameras if they are comfortable? So I can like know whom I am interacting to.
Uh,
Otherwise, it would be a dead interaction.
Guys, can you please turn on your
If like
cameras?
just say me hi, and then maybe you can turn off if you are not comfortable. Because it is also my first time like talking like this. So okay, I can see yes turning his camera on. Okay, you Siddhant, nice. Okay, so anyone else want to like turn on their camera?
Guys, don't be shy.
Okay, fine. Let's just not force them. If they are not comfortable. So, yeah, you asked me regarding ICPC, right? To explain what is
Yes,
ICPC.
yes.
Okay, so like, um, yeah, even if you guys didn't heard about like ICPC, you must have heard the term Olympiads, right? Anyone else? Like Olympiads, you guys have heard, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
national Olympiads, international Olympiads, and all. So yeah. So basically, what happens when before entering the college, you study science and maths. So like even for passing some entrance exam, that is fine. JEE is conducted and all. But if you're trying to represent your country on some national level and international level, and basically trying to make a breakthrough in that field, so they just reward people. To just trying to find out who are the ones that is going to lead this field. Like let's say you can take example of physics olympiad. If you're very good at physics, you can start with NSEP national olympiad in physics, and then go to national level, and then continental, and then represent your country finally on the international platform. So that is what ICPC all about. Like we are no longer studying physics, chemistry, and maths. All we do is mostly coding, I guess, to get jobs. So yeah, so that is why ICPC happens. It stands for Intercollegiate Programming Contest, and it comprises of three people. It is team based, and you need to have I think a judge, no, not a host from your college, someone who can guide you through. And you participate. First round is like online, and then you go to the regionals, wherein if you excel, you can go to the continental level, and then finally you represent the country. So yeah, that is like the Olympiad of computing, I can say, ICPCs.
Yes, sir. So,
Was I clear, or like anyone have doubt? Okay. Okay. Sure, go ahead.
okay. So, am I audible?
Ah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Uh, so how did you get familiar to this world of competitive programming? Like, how did you get into this? Was it your friends? Was it your seniors? Uh, who introduced you to this?
A senior of mine introduced me in the second semester, I guess. Like in the first semester, I was targeting a 10 SGPA, and eventually I ended up with 8.4. So I was kind of depressed that I couldn't get a perfect 10. And then I was talking to this senior who told me like there is a site called Code Forces wherein you can begin coding and stuff. So actually, I didn't come from a very tech background. Like all these development things were new to me. So either way, they were not very interesting enough. But what I excelled, I mean, I knew very good was maths. So I found the coding very interesting. Like it was all maths and a bit of languages, C, C++, and also I picked it up from there onwards, and it became a hobby along the way. So yeah, basically a senior of mine introduced me.
Nice, nice. So, uh, when we talk about ICPC, so there are
Hmm.
misconceptions like the coding problems there are very hard, very tough, and
Hmm.
like uh, what are other misconceptions which students have when they prepare for ICPC or other competitive coding challenges?
Okay, like see, anything in which you don't have much expertise into, it seems hard, right? There is nothing like anything is hard. If you do enough practice, it becomes easier, and eventually you find out patterns. So same goes with ICPC. Though I would say that even if you practice a lot of DSA, still the problems are designed in a way that I mean, it won't be something that you have seen before. You need to think, you need to have this abstract thinking, you need to figure out by yourself. I mean, the implementation would take data structures and all, but the logic behind it is mostly very fundamental. And it is sort of, I think we can compare it with recreational mathematics. I don't know if you guys have heard it before, ad hoc stuff, like the thing where a lot of thinking is involved. So it is not hard, if you have enough practice, and like if you're regular with the DSA, I think you will be able to like find out patterns and all. And and also I've seen like a lot of programmers have very good rating, but still they sometimes struggle, cannot perform up to their expectations in the real context, because again, all thanks to the problem itself. Like they are designed that you need to have the abstract thinking, and if in that moment you cannot think of it, then it doesn't matter how like good rated person you are on different platforms, or how much practice you have done. You need to be very present in the moment. And at the end, I would say it is very fun. Like the moment you crack it and get that accepted thing, yeah, it is fun, I guess. That's why we are into it, other than the job aspect.
Yes. So let's say for a student who is currently in a in
Hmm.
their second year. So if the
Hmm.
student wants to qualify the higher rounds of ICPC, so how should
Hmm.
he or she approach it? What should be the preparation strategy of the student?
See, you can start with the CodeSafe contests. I mean, you can go for code forces as well, but the contests that happen in India, they are organized on code safe, and it generally follows the trend there. Like code safe, some questions are very assumption based. Like in a smaller constants, you need to make some assumptions, and that is what I felt when I went to the regionals. I felt that yeah, there is some sort of like that platform inertia is there. It's not like completely independent since it is organized on code chef. So yeah, you can start with it. Basic DSA stuff you can start with, and then participate in as much contest as you can. Don't give a like damn about rating and all. Just try to learn. Make a community of at least 2 3 people would be fine, and discuss after post contest, like what happened, what was your approach. Even this was the same case with me as well. The senior guided me to start it, but there was a very close friend of mine with whom I did my all this coding stuff, and even we didn't heard about like ICPC like 1 year into the programming. Then I came to know that something like ICPC exists and all. So yeah, so you can start with basic DSA stuff like coding, codeship. I would say the factor that would very significant would be trying to participate in a lot of contests and learn from them. Like learn from the editorials, try to absorb them. That's it. Like don't think too much about how many questions you have solved, what is the rating and all. It just does not matter. And if you like come into the corporate world as well, you'll find out that these are just numbers. All that matters is how fast you are able to come up with to find the bugs, the problem that are like you need to be able to someone who can find out if there is something missing. So that is something you can develop from doing coding. Everything else is just secondary and does not matter at all.
Uh, Sir, since you have mentioned about the coding contests, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
would like to ask that what would you say? Should a student practice via giving coding contests, or should he
Mm-hmm.
solve topic-wise questions according to his strengths? So, what should be the ideal
Mm-hmm.
preparation strategy, or should that depend on the learning rate of the student or how he learns and grasps things?
Okay, so see, as I mentioned before, like contest you should participate in as much as you can and try to absorb them. And yeah, you can go ahead with like topic wise preparation. Basically, to achieve a decent rating, that is like a specialist in code forces or like 4 star in code safe. That is a night in I guess late code. You don't need to know much about data structure. I have felt personally. Uh, you need to be spontaneous and have a basic knowledge of STL. If you guys know C++, a standard template library, what are sets, maps, hash maps, and ordered sets and all, multi-set, everything that the little data structure that are there, that should be enough. Higher concept like DP, graph, segment tree would be required later on. But initially, you can just begin with all the maths that you know. That would be enough to get you a 2 star on code self and people on code forces. So you don't need to learn much. Just try to give the context and open the editorial if you cannot solve it, and then try to find out what is missing, like what is something that I don't know, and try to learn from it. And yeah, that shall be enough.
Yes, I was going to come to that point which you mentioned about the
Hmm.
editorials. So, what
Hmm.
generally happens is students tend to solve questions uh,
Hmm.
and contests. So,
Hmm.
they end up solving a few of them and couldn't solve,
Hmm.
let's say, that depends on the student's strengths and weakness. So,
Hmm.
so, how important is it for to go back and revisit the editorials of the unsolved questions, or even the solved ones? Like if there were any other methods or any other algorithms to solve the same question, how should that be approached?
Okay, so I guess you asked how important it is to go back and solve the question that you didn't solve, right?
Yes, revisit the editorials.
Okay. Hmm. I think I would say that if you don't do it, you won't be improving much. Like if you just solve the problems and don't revisit them, the ones that you didn't solve, it would be all like you are like practicing what you already know, right? You know something, you solved it, you just improve your timing. But to learn new concept, it would, I mean, I think it is the most important aspect, because as a beginner you don't know much, a lot of things that what goes into like solving these questions. Also, I would say that even if you know the question, like you have solved it before, you should watch the editorial, like read the editorial, because it might have the approach that is like better than you, the most optimized one. So there is a lot of things to learn from the editorial. So I think, yeah, the first thing would be getting started with CP or DSA, you can say, and the second most important aspect would be to like have a habit, make a habit of reading the editorials, even for the question that you did solve. Try to look into the code of others, like the people that you know, your 2 3 friends that are participating along with you. Try to collaborate with them, discuss with them, trying to find the edge cases, prove them wrong if they are wrong. It is also like it is very difficult thing in the very beginning. Like some of your friend, he might be very, or she might be very confident that, "Oh, I came up with this approach," and but eventually it gets wrong, and even you cannot like prove how he or she got wrong. So to make the edge cases by yourself, to prove, like say that, oh, this is where it is failing, that is equally important, aspect of competitive programming. Like eventually you are going to be into a team, right? So let's say your teammate has come up with the almost 90% of the solution. He somehow is not able to look up to the bugs, like the what is the error behind. And if you cannot think of it, don't have a habit beforehand, so that basically that teamwork that does not works. And even in jobs you need to be collaborative. So that's why I said that you need to start with just 2 3 people, trying to discuss with them, prove them wrong, learn from them, compete with them, and read their codes, read the editorials. So yeah, that's it.
Right. So, one question that every beginner programmer has when he starts his DSA journey is
Mhm.
that what language should we use? So, should it be Python, Java, C++? What should it be?
So in the long run, the language does not matter. All that matters is your logic that you have built so far. But it depends on the other interest that you have. Like if you want to go into AI ML stuff, so it would be great if you start with Python. If you want to go into the dev stuff, the backend and all, so Java would be great. And if you want to go into latency thing like HFTs and all, and everything where there is this word called latency, basically the time that is getting wasted before getting to the desired outcome, the time it is taking, that is what we call latency. So if you are that is your ultimate target, you can go with C++. But I would say the primary thing that matters here is logic building. The language itself becomes secondary thing,
Right.
right? But again, if you know your interest, like if you said that there are people who just transition from first year to second year, so I would say try to explore as much fields as you can to eventually find out, like don't go into CP or development just because some senior said you. Try to explore, find a niche that works for you, that you find very interesting, and then maybe go ahead with it. Take some, like read some articles from the internet. I'm sure there would be videos and all to guide you through. So language does not matter, but yeah, if you know what you are going to work on, like if you are going to work into AIML, so you can go with Python. Personally, for me, it was yeah, C++, because I don't know, we were taught C in my first semester. That's why I picked C++.
Right.
Mm.
So, coming back to ICPC,
Mhm.
since ICPC is a team competition, right?
Mhm.
So, what factors should be considered while team formation, so that
Mm.
the overall performance of the team can be excelled?
Yeah, I mean
And how
that
should we divide the responsibilities within the
mm.
team?
Yeah, that is a problem that even we are trying to figure out, because you can hire like you can hire 10 mathematician, but they still cannot come up with the desired solution, because uh, you guys have heard about waves, SHM waves in physics, right? uh,
Yes.
Sine wave, cosine wave. So what happens is, you like, have you heard the term interference, constructive interference, destructive interference? So it is
Yes.
it's not like there are 3 people in your team with X abilities and eventually they will combine the 3X output. It does not happen. Sometimes it can be even like X by 2, sometimes it can be like 2X. So it is kind of interference, I would say. You cannot put it into numbers. So try to find out people who complements each other. Like, see, there are a lot of topics in DSA. So you'd naturally know that, oh, I am very good at bitmask, I'm very good at binary search, the friend of mine is very good at DP, and another one is very good at graph. So if your team is complementary, that would be the best strategy, I would say. Do not make team with like-minded people. Like, by like-minded, I mean the people who are strong in the same topic. It won't make much sense, and eventually we'll discussing the same question and it will waste time or maybe contradict each other. So try to find out team which is complementary, and you need to have someone who can code very fast, and someone who can like find out like errors in, like, it is also a quality that a friend of yeah, I would say the most basic thing would be try to first code, get into merge into this field for 1 year, try to figure out how things are working, and then you would know that what are your strengths and weaknesses, and based on that you can make a team of complementary people, like team
Yes.
people with varying expertise.
Yes. So now, when it comes to solving problems,
Mm-hmm.
so the environment in which we solve it at home,
Mm-hmm.
and the environment in which we solve it at the actual competition,
Mm-hmm.
the pressure and the running against the time thing, it is
Mm-hmm.
completely different, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how do you manage that on spot, and how can we prepare for that beforehand?
So what you can do is you can try to participate in virtual contest on code forces. You can go to the gym section on code forces, where you can get all access to all the past contests for ICPC and other equally challenging competitive contests, and then try to set the timer of 5 hours. It is usually 5 hour long contest, and then maybe you can you can build a habit from there.
Yes. Okay.
Giving
So,
virtual. Okay.
so what you are saying is only practicing and giving contests under time constraints
Yeah, yeah.
will
And
help to.
yeah, and then post
Yes.
discussion. Like, let's say you are giving a contest of 5 hours, then you should not take part in more than two contests in a week, because all your other time should go into discussing what you didn't solve, like upskilling yourself, learning the topics that you didn't know. I mean, it is very important to not have a piled of contest wherein you don't know a lot of questions. It again, it would be not be the best practice. So, I mean, yeah, try to mark the question that you didn't solve, and if you learn the satisfactory number of questions, then you can move ahead with another contest. It's not like you are just you just giving a lot more contest and not basically up solving. So it again won't be very helpful.
So, one thing which I had heard from somewhere is uh,
Hmm.
identifying patterns through the questions we solve, and noting them down.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like after solving many questions, you will have an definite list of patterns. And when you solve a new question, that question would fit into the same pattern. So, have you experienced this, or is this true?
Yeah, it is essentially true, but that pattern stuff, I don't know what are you trying to say with the pattern. I mean, do you mean the exact question or do you mean the line of thinking?
A line of thinking, not the exact
Yeah,
question.
yeah, because there won't be any repetition. And yeah, line of thinking matters. And if you do a lot of questions, to eventually after you deduce the question, you spend some minutes into it, you'll realize that you must have seen something like this before. I mean, the data structures are the same, right? All that matters is the logic, and once you come up with it, it is all about implementation. So that implementation is what that matters, and I guess that is what we call pattern. Like, how are we going to implement it? The logic itself might not be familiar with you, but the way you are going to implement it, it might be helpful to practice a lot of questions beforehand.
Yes. So, if I'm not wrong, you are currently in your fourth year of your college, right?
Yeah, just entered my fourth year. I mean, we'll be entering in
Uh,
August, July. Yeah.
yes. So, in your 3 years of your academic journey at NIT Patna,
Hmm.
and your current experience as an HD intern at Angel One, Do
Mhm.
you think that all this competitive programming and ICPC preparation has helped you in some way?
Yeah, they had, because I mean, what is problems in every aspect of life where you are basically getting rewarded, either be it money or fame or anything. It does takes a lot of hard work, persistence, perseverance, and then uh, consistency and all. So that is being tested in every aspect. Even as an SD intern here, you need to figure out what the team is asking, what the needs are, and even if you don't feel like something working on it, that consistency thing that you might have learned along the way of doing competitive programming or data structure and algorithm, that will be helpful. So it is all about like building those basic things that you need to for your survival or excelling in any aspect. So that is what we learn from like being an expert in any field. Like you can be an expert in development as well, and you might learn the same thing that we define, the very like the consistency or what we can say, you know even after getting stuck into something, but still you're not giving up. That is what we learn from giving contest. Like you are not able to somehow solve it, but you are still trying to figure it out. So yeah, it is helpful. I mean,
Yes. So, uh, what do you think is different between the approach of the top performing teams in the ICPC and those who like have the potential but aren't able to perform well? What is the difference between their approach and mindset?
I think it. What happened? Okay, so the light is off here. I would say first the day itself matters. Like how is your brain working on that day? Like there can be a lot of
Yes.
good teams who might not be able to perform that well as per their excellence, and I think it depends on the individuality first, like how a single person in your team is like doing solving the problems, and it eventually adds up to the team performance. So the team that excels, that go to even like beyond the regionals to the continentals or to the world finals, I would say the first thing is like they have this brain for this field particular. I would say, I mean they have this background of like getting into this field of mathematical Olympiads and all. Like anyone can become into this like expert of any field, but you need to allocate your time for that, right? So the ones that are representing India on the international level are the ones that have solved a lot of questions of maths. Like they have excelled in maths from ever like from their childhood itself. So what happened? Someone is raising their hand. Is there any doubt or what?
Hello.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
actually wanted to ask, I have appeared for Maths Olympiad like IOQM and RMO. So
Oh,
what is
nice.
the benefit? Is it beneficial for me to in ICPC appearing for these Olympiads?
Like up to what stage have you been to? Like in RMO or IOQ?
I have been listed in the merit list for
Mm-hmm.
IOQM,
Okay, I
but
think first is pre-RMO, right? Pre-RMO and then RMO and then INMO, then IMO, right?
yes,
Okay, so it
I think
doesn't matter at what level you have gone up to. It all that matters that you are aware of these things like in advance, and you might have prepared for this, right? A lot of questions
yes.
you might have solved. So that is definitely going to be helpful. Yeah, that is going to be helpful for you. The ones that are going to perform well and representing India are the ones who have solved like given their time. Like in any field, if you allocate your time, you are going to excel. That's it. That's the very fundamental truth.
Okay, okay,
And
thank you.
and the, okay.
so coming back, so when you are solving a question
Mm-hmm.
uh, under time constraints,
Mm-hmm.
so if you are stuck at a question and you are not
Mm-hmm.
able to come up with a solution, or you have a solution uh, but the test cases aren't working,
Mm-hmm.
so when do you know that now is the time he stop this, quit this question and move to the next question?
Okay, like you are saying that transition from one question to another
Yes.
if you cannot solve it. I mean, usually my bad habit is that if I cannot solve a question, I won't move to another one. And after a certain point, that becomes a bad habit. Like initially at the beginning of your coding journey, that might be a good thing. Like you are trying to put as much brain and efforts as you can. But eventually later on, if you're trying to compete at international level or national level, yeah, you need to like somehow like give up your ego and trying to learn stuff that why it is not working or transition. So it is difficult for me to transition, but I mean, what can you do? You are trying and you cannot do. The one thing that you can do is read the editorials or take some hints. So that is what I do. I usually don't read the editorials. I take some hints, and if I'm able to come up with it, it is fine. But if I'm not, then that question might goes into my pending list for 4 or 5 days, and then again I come like try to solve it, and like 40-50% of the time I can solve it. But sometimes I need to like there is a point where you know that oh something is just not working, so that is when I give up that okay, let's just uh, go right behind into the tutorials. I mean, there is not an
Okay.
exact point that I can mention that this is the breaking point where I just like leave this question. There is not as such, but you will be able to figure out yourself that okay, this is not working. Maybe I'm not able to come up with the approach that it is asking, or maybe you can take a simple look of the tutorial and you can see that oh, your line of thinking is very different. Even you don't need to read the tutorials. You can just look at the code and you realize that there is something else. Like I'm trying to solve it with greedy, but it is something that requires DP, so greedy won't work here. So maybe you can alter your approaches, and even after that, you are not able to solve it. So I would say just go for the tutorials, learn it. Don't be egoistic. It is not helpful.
So what you are saying is, with practice, you would get the understanding that uh, you should move ahead to the next question.
Yeah,
There is no such proper guide.
there is no such point where like I mean yeah, I would say that don't spend in terms of like how much time you are allocating for thinking. I would say don't spend more than 45 minutes like at one sitting. Like if it's all your brain, you are trying to solve it, and in 45 minutes you are not able to come up with the right approach or the closer approach. So you need to either move to the next question or look into the hints, but at least try to like give a focus 20 to 25 minutes of thinking. Don't just right away jump into the editorials after 5 minutes or 10 minutes of reading. So like it is just like going into the gym. Yeah.
Right, right. So, are there like any specific algorithms which are frequently seen in ICPC?
And that is the beauty of ICPC, man. There is no pattern. That that will
Right, right.
ultimately. Yeah. But I mean, topics are limited in DSA, right? You can start with the very basic stuff, the maths, the STL, and then you can go to binary search, and then binary search after that, yeah, sets and all, and then you can go to DP, and then graph, and then segmentary. Like there are just, and then bit mask and all. So there are like six, seven, like fields in this domain, and the question will be asked from them. That's it. In terms of algorithms that you asked,
Uh,
the famous ones are like what Dijkstra, I can say, in terms of graph. I cannot recall of as such any algorithm like wherein you can just use it and you will be able to solve the question. It usually don't happen in ICPC. All they test is your abstract thinking and your spontaneity. So yeah.
yes. So, uh, coming to one of my last questions.
Hmm.
So, looking back at your ICPC journey,
Hmm.
and if you were to start everything up again from scratch,
Hmm.
would you start it? Would you do it all over again the same way, or would it be something that you would be doing differently?
I mean, I would like to
Like,
change that.
what were the mistakes you?
Yeah, so I would say there is one thing that I would like to change. Rest, I would like to keep it as it is. One thing is that basically the transition, learning new stuff. Like uh, I have this. I earlier I mentioned that bad habit that I don't usually give up on questions. I read very few. I read editorials. Read most of them, but I read after solving the question, not before. So that might have resulted in, if you after a certain point, if you start looking to the tutorials, you might be able to know a lot of approaches, right? So that is something that I would like to change, like to put my ego aside and just look for the solution. That is one thing I would like to change. Yeah, and everything else is fine, just fine.
So even though you said that you had the bad habit of sticking on to the questions, hanging on for too long,
Yeah.
but seeing your code forces rating, which is pretty impressive, of 700, 1700, your bad habit does not reflect that. So was it that you were practicing too many contests and too many questions, or you figured it out
No, like see,
when?
1700 is not. I have talked with people who are like masters, international masters, and grandmaster on code forces, like whose rating is beyond for 2400, 2500. And I feel like that the only thing that missing between them and me is other than the brain stuff. I feel that they have like done a lot of maths in their childhood, but the second thing that I feel missing is that somehow they are able to learn a lot of stuff. Like they transition very fast. So yeah, it totally depends. It can be painful sometimes to transition, right? To learn new things every time, learn new things. I like to like just put into test what already I know. But yeah, so that is equally important. Sorry, I forgot your question. What did you ask?
The same, that your code forces rating is very impressive. So how did you manage
Okay. Yeah.
to? Did you solve too many questions, or
Yep.
because you said that you used to stick on one question for very long, so
Yeah,
you
but
solved too many questions, right?
yeah, even after that, I was able to at least solve 1500. I would guess questions. So I mean, I
Wow.
dedicated all my college life to like mostly competitive programming, other than participating in some hackathons and some fun activities like playing cricket and all. But I mostly done coding only. So yeah. Again, question does not matter.
Uh,
Number of question counts, but it does reflect that you have a lot of patience and you can stick to something for a long time. So that is the trait that people look for, or the competitions look for. I mean, yeah.
Okay, now this is not a question, but earlier in the afternoon, where we were talking on the call, right? So you
Mhm.
mentioned that you can learn things like system design, which are required in the industry later on, but uh, competitive coding is not what you can do later on.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that is
can
a
you elaborate on that?
yeah, that is the question that I actually wanted to answer. Thank you for asking it. I mean, like
Yes.
if we talk about the current scenario of India, like if you see the youth, what is the I mean, not youth, what is the very basic nature of human beings? Like just chill, enjoy, right? I mean, if
Stay in the comfort zone.
we were not inherently built to like sit at one point and focus on just one thing, but that is what made us humans apart, like the ability to think and do this concentration thing. That is why we are the ones basically running this planet. So if even if in now if you see like a lot of people, they mostly are indulged in brain rot activities like watching shorts on YouTube or reels most of the time. The people, like most of the people, it is a like a truth in every country is like, even you can be partying and all every fun activities. So, sitting at one place and is a very difficult thing, and even after that picking up to solve questions that requires thinking, that again make it super difficult. So if you don't pick up this habit early on, I personally feel that if you once you go into the corporate, you'll be getting some amount of salary, and that will basically result into you becoming comfortable. You eventually out of competition would like to transition from one job to another, but if you don't have this habit of sitting at one place and doing the stuff, it would get very difficult for you to again like practice and learn the question, because in its very nature it is boring thing, I would say. Solving question like which does not involve a lot of technicality, just abstract thinking. You pen and paper and the interface basically, that's all. So in today's generation it might be boring. So that is something I would like to say, that do this because it is rewarded. Like let's say you have five people and you are trying to appoint someone as the leader, someone you can rely up to. So other than the like speaking skill, leadership, what is that very fundamental thing that would you like to figure out? Like would you like to choose someone who's like distracted, does not do a lot of like stuff, don't do the painful activities. So what would you do? The ones that are basically sitting at one place doing some hard problems, and they are the ones changing it. Even in the field of AI, you can say the Chat GPT, the cloud, and everything. The ones that are frontiers are the ones that have researchers in them, right? So,
Yes.
so considering all these things in mind, I would say that initially, if you pick this habit, it becomes very easy for you to transition later on as well, like to switch from different companies. But you don't have this right now. I mean, all considering all the comfort that you get after getting a job, it might become very difficult for you. And I've seen my seniors like getting stuck at like the same company for like 3 year, 4 year, 5 years because DSA is the initial filter for any company. I mean, what are you going to test people onto? You cannot test them on technology, right? It keeps evolving.
Right.
Someone say, "Oh, I know this language, everything about it," but what is something that might change? That might not be needed after a few years. So you are the only thing that you can test upon is the problem solving, and it again boiled down to mathematics and then coding. That's it. So yeah, I would like to suggest everyone here, like at least allocate 1 hour of your daily life to like trying to solve problems. That is a sort of motivation as well. Basically, just sitting at one place and thinking, figuring out what is going to work. So it would be very, you would be thankful to yourself looking back after some years that that is something that you will be proud of that. Well, I did the right thing.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Also, one more question, uh, that is, uh,
Mhm.
other than competitive programming is one thing that will be constant for everyone, right? But their field
No,
of
not
interest in
not.
technology
Sorry,
would not be.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean, as long as humans getting hired, it would be constant. But if you all get replaced, then it won't make much sense.
Yes. So the other technical part, like someone would be more interested in software development,
Mhm.
the other one would be more interested in machine learning,
Mhm.
or the other one would be in data analysis. So how do
Mhm.
you figure out which stream is best suited for yourself, and what is your key field of interest in which you would like to pursue your career?
Okay, so you have enough knowledge of any field, I guess. There are jobs everywhere, right? It's not like I've
Yes.
done CP, so I would say that this is the ultimate thing. I mean, just a second. It would be the ultimate, like the initial filter for many companies, but eventually you need to know the development, the system design. So to become a holistic engineer, you need to know everything, a little bit of everything, and then you can like pick out one field and then be an expert of it if you are enjoying it. Like, do not force yourself or compare with other people. Like, it's like asking, like, oh, out of physics, chemistry, math, what should I go ahead with? Like, there is career in everything, na? And that is what this, I mean, making this world progress. So it's not like I would say that, oh, physics is the ultimate and chemistry does not matter and bio does not matter. That is not how it works. Everything is important. It totally depends on your interest. Know a little bit about everything. Like, it's not there should not be a condition when someone asks you from something ML and you are just blank, and that should not happen. And but yeah, other than that, be a master of one field at least.
Yes, yes. Uh, I guess I don't have any other questions from my side. So we would like to take questions from the participants. But before that, is there any specific thing which you would like to address? Anything that we missed out in
Yeah,
the
one thing that
discussion?
I would like to share the resources of competitive programming. I would share, uh, everyone can, if you have guys have laptop in front of you, you can like search for you know who website.
You know who? Okay.
Yes, you know who, like all in one word. It is the most voted blog of code forces. Basically, this site. It basically contains all the stuff that you need, like all the topics, all the good questions for it, all the related video editorials or the blog links, the learning material, the contest link, everything at one place. There's this coder from Bangladesh, and he figured out this thing that nothing is at one place. And out of that pain point, he's a very good rated programmer on Code Forces. He built this basically website. Are you guys able to access it? You know who? Topic list. You can click on into it, and there are. I mean, do not go out and solve like all the question of a topic. There are a lot of them. Even if you solve two, three questions, basically the whole purpose of me telling you this thing is that it will build you the right foundation, the right path. So every time if you are stuck, like you have left DSA for a longer time and you now need to prepare for it, you can revisit your old routes. Like, so if they are right, it would work, but if it is wrong, you are just wasting your time. So you don't necessarily need to go out on YouTube looking for guidance to the people. Nobody on YouTube basically tells about this because they know that if you tell it, we are over. Even the big people, daily animators and all, they are not going to mention this resource. So very few people know it, because if you are very deep into competitive programming, then only you will be able to figure out. So but that is something I want to share to you. Just anything, you can just search the topic. There will be blogs related to it, questions, everything that you need. I can vouch for it. And yeah, for now it should be enough, and then you can like practice on CSCS as well. Basically all the varieties that are going to be asked in the interview, if you say interview purposes, it won't be beyond CSCS problem set. Basically the question set that is there, we said Bible for DSA, but again not many people know it. It covers all the concept. There would be a drastic change from one question to another, but that is the whole beauty of that problem set. It covers all the patterns. So these are the two things: the CSCS problem set and the who website. Basically the problem, I guess, topic list is there. And yeah,
So,
yes.
no, I just checked out the Who website,
Mhm.
and it is pretty impressive, I'll say.
Yeah.
Everything at one place.
That was the whole point.
So,
Yes.
yes, so does anyone have any questions? You
I
can
mean,
unmute
I,
yourselves and ask.
I, before everyone else, I have one question. Was it boring? Because I mean, usually I'm very serious, so I try to make it fun, but I felt like again I was too serious. So, like, are you guys interested, or just no? This guy is very boring. Like,
No, definitely not. It was informative.
I it would be informative, but was it boring? It can be both boring and
No, not at all.
informative.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know why, but I try to be chill, but somehow that is something I challenge. Okay, so yeah, go ahead with your questions. Shoot out.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
Hello.
so I recently started learning DSA,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of people usually practice programming through lead code, but I have
Mm-hmm.
also seen students participate in code forces contest or do CP every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not asking this from the perspective of getting a job, but what do you
Mm-hmm.
think is the best approach from a perspective of getting better at programming?
Better into programming, right? See, okay, so if you go to the lead code, again, basically, to be a good programmer, there are two aspects. The first is, even if you know something, you need to be a master of it. I mean, you should be able to implement it in real time. So that is where practice comes into picture. You need to solve a lot of questions. That is the first thing. The second thing is how many topics that you have learned so far. Your learning curve should be good enough. It should not be very steep. You need to learn topics like in a week or two. You should be able to learn. So these are the two things that matter the most. And if you talk about spontaneous, I mean, you said that getting good at programming, right? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay, huh. So see, the first thing I mentioned was able to implement it in real time, and second one is like how many, basically कितने तीर है तुम्हारे तर्कस में, how many topics do you know? And then comes the ultimate thing that most of the people ignore who are preparing for jobs or anything where abstract, basically a lot of brain is not involved. That is where spontaneity comes into picture. So if you for spontaneity, code forces is the best, hands down. Like it just, no matter how much topics that you have learned, it will always have something for you to like from. You need to start from very scratch. So that is where you can improvise upon your spontaneity. And then, I mean, I would say take the best of both worlds, man. Like participate in code forces, lead code, everywhere you can participate onto. There's nothing like this is good, this is bad. I mean, allocate as much time as you to this field, and eventually will be able to like figure out what works for you. There's nothing like not a single piece of advice that I can tell you. All I can say is just be consistent and participate in as much contest as you can, and then try to absorb it. Don't just leave it out of. And another thing would be that in this era of where the AI is just too smart, everyone is cheating to boost their rating. Just just don't care about rating. Somehow block it. Like just it should not be reflected on your profile. That is not something I have come into intern here. Like I know a lot of people into corporate. Nobody cares about your rating, man. Once you are into the interview, all that matters is like how like you are able to communicate your thought process, and even before that, how are you able to come up with the all this reasoning and logic behind. So yeah, that practice a lot of questions, make a good friend circle, and then give a lot of contests and try to beat yourself. I would say that is the ultimate. I would say the gyan. Be like a better person. Like improvise upon yourself. Yep.
Thank you.
The- okay. Was it clear or just I just throw a lot of words at you?
No, no, it was very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello.
Actually, all of my questions were really answered in the session. I don't really have a question right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even apart from ICPC, whatever questions I had, they all were answered. I just wanted to appreciate you for being so to the point. And actually, what we needed in this, what we need in this journey is how to approach rather than how to excel. And that's what you
Mm-hmm.
addressed. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Sir, you mentioned about some sheet which you also called Bible for DSA. Could you repeat that name? I just didn't get that name.
I mean, CS problem set. Like you can just search CSES.
CSES. Okay. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Okay. Okay, I've seen this. Yes. Yes. His camera is on from a long time. Bro, do you have any
Hello,
questions? Okay, Siddhant. Okay, huh? Hello.
sir. In first year, I participated in many code chef and lead code contests, and
Mm-hmm.
it results to bit of ignorance to my academic performance. That's why I got less CGPA in first year.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it 7.95 CGPA,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know how you managed all this academic thing and competitive CP. Also,
Yeah.
it is a pressure that like internship, also participate in hackathon, many stuffs to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a great point that you have raised. Basically, I got my lowest HGPA in the second semester itself, the semester that I started competitive programming. 7 point something it was. I just ignored everything. I just want to that I would go. I'm going to be the king of the world. I don't know. I enjoyed like basically solving the questions, and it just gave me a lot of confidence to basically ignore everything else. Everything else seemed like they are not important enough, or they are not smart enough. So it does happen, and it gets a bit difficult. But I would say try to manage both things. And CGPA only matters in your, I guess, on-campus placement. But you have ICPC at your resume, GSOC, and the hackathon stuff. But all that matters is when are you getting the chance. Once you get the chance, it just does not matter. Like how many people ask you your 10th% or 12%. But if you are confident enough that you will somehow get a chance from off campus, so you don't need to like if you're 7 pointer, try to keep it above 80. You are just into second year, right?
Yes,
Yeah, so 8 plus
entering in
should be
second year.
then you have 2 more years left to like improvise upon your CGPA, so you can easily uh, go into that. And yeah, just put it basically a very wise person, a senior of mine who currently is in I guess Morgan Stanley. He once said to me, basically the top coder of from an IT Patna in the history ever was this guy called Priyanshu Bhardwaj. He was the Google CodeGem AIR2. Like he basically beat the shit out of all other Indian coders and was second to only one person. And his CGP was in 6 point something. So this is kind of like the best guy from NIT Patna, and he's currently in Google. He keeps getting the promotion even before the promotion cycle basically starts. So the senior that told me about him, he told me that what happens is that if you get chance and you don't somehow able, you are not able to make it, like to get the job offer or to move to the next stage. What happens is that for after that rejection, you think that your CGPA was the reason, and and you really don't have much choice after that. You won't be able to improvise it, right? But if CGPA thing is off your mind, you can say that, oh, my computer networks was work, or my OOPS is weak, my DSA is weak. So that is some sort of barrier that basically kills your time. Like you will keep thinking about CGPA, and like the time is already gone. You can longer be able to basically fix it. So to make you basically to, yeah, to be chill, just try to make keep it above it, so that you don't focus on this unnecessary thing that you cannot improvise upon. And managing itself, it could be a bit tricky, but I think 8+ you can keep. 7+
Yes.
is still fine. Many MNCs, all they care about is 7, but in the on-campus placement, it becomes tough. Off-campus, they don't really care, even if you're 9 pointer. All that matters is like the coding competition or the contributions like GSOC and all, like hackathons. So yeah. So
Thank you, sir.
DSA should, yeah, okay. Welcome.
Guys, any other questions?
When you go into the ICPC Regionalist on site, it is allowed to carry a notebook, right? So
25 or 35 page notebook it is,
yes.
A4 ऐसा.
So how had you planned, like what should be it in there, and did it really help you to check the notebook during the
Not
competition?
really, not really. I mean, everything segmentary and all उसके हमने वो रखे थे snipers and all, even for the algorithms which we knew by heart, but still we somehow, but it didn't really help, man.
Okay,
Not really. Okay.
thank you.
Well,
I guess we don't have any other questions. So I would like to conclude this. So thank you, Mr. Sumit Kumar, sir, for your wonderful insights.
welcome.
Your guidance really helped us. And apart from the technical things about approach towards competitive programming, which you told us, I think your consistency and dedication is something I really appreciated. So
Yeah, try to be
thank you
like
for your
honest. Try to be honest with yourself. Put in hard work and be consistent, man. That's it. We can connect over different fields, like connect with different people who are like achievers of this field, so that you can get the offers, at least basically the chance to basically take the interviews. And also, yeah, networking matters. That would all I would like to say. You don't need to appreciate me. It's fine.
Yes, so thank you for taking out time from your schedule. I would also like to thank our faculty members for the support and encouragement, and all the students who joined us today and actively participated in the session. On behalf of Team ACM PCCOE, thank you for being part of this event, and I hope to see you all in the further events. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yes.